A food and agriculture expert here with us on the news at 10 in the nation's capital. Abubakar Suleiman is an assistant food and agriculture organization representative here in Abuja. You're welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Now, so where are we now on food security in Nigeria, looking at all the measures the government has put in place to make food abundant in the country? What's your view about that?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, there has been quite a significant effort on the part of government and other partners to scale up interventions in the area of food security. Unfortunately, the country and let's say the world at large is facing a much bigger problem and external shock in the form of COVID-19. So despite the improvement, we still have to deal with the reactions and impact of COVID-19, particularly on food systems and food productions generally. Remember, Nigeria has had to go on lockdown for nearly 2-3 months, depending on the states. This has impact on resumption of farm activities. It has impact on input of farms that import largely dependent, and also more recently there are issues related to flooding, which has also caused some destructions of crop in the field, particularly in the areas where it is priority for rice production, talking about Kebbi and to some extent Jigawa State. So these are external shocks that has had negative impact on the otherwise modest achievement that has been recorded over the last few years. Nonetheless, we are seeing the numbers increasing in terms of yield. Nigeria has made significant progress in rice production, also in maize, and there are more effort coming towards improvement in dairy and other sectors. But we need to sustain this gain. We need to also understand the impact that external shocks have on the food production and food systems generally.
It's good you're talking about external shocks now, looking at the fact that we have flooding and some of this states have been affected, Niger State to be precise, and even Kebbi too. Now, what is FAO's priority policy on food security in Nigeria, and how successful has the FAO been in its effort to continue to deliver and its mandate in the country?
Yeah, FAO has a broad mandate for not only food production, but broadly on food security, nutrition security, but in a more sustainable manner that has sustainable impact on natural resources and also on the other aspect of the food value chain. So broadly speaking, our mandate lies in our 5 priority areas, which we call the country programming framework. First of all, to improve the food security sector in a more sustainable manner, but more importantly, to support the government and the people of Nigeria in improving the policy and regulatory framework that will deliver the much needed food security and nutrition in the country. And thirdly, as I said at the beginning, also to improve the sustainable management and utilization of natural resources. As you are aware, agricultural practices globally have impact on climate, impact on environment, and so on and so forth. So if we don't have regulatory frameworks and good agricultural practices that will mitigate the impact, for example, of land degradation, overuse of water, and misuse of our ecosystems, our systems will still not be sustainable. It will not lead to the desired impact that we need to have. And then thirdly also, FAO has broad mandate in improving emergency management, humanitarian support to people affected by different forms of crisis. We have to also work on the areas affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. For example, there are quite a number of people that are displaced. They have livelihood challenges, they have food security challenges. So we have to work together with our government partners to improve the situations on the ground to support the IDPs, to support the returnees, and also to support the host communities who have had to, in some ways, bear the burden of supporting the IDPs. Because some, okay.
All right then, now you're talking about the challenges to food security in Nigeria. Now there are quite a number of challenges: access to good roads, mechanized farming, security for farmers to go to the farms to farm, because if the farmers don't go to the farm, how do we have enough food for everybody in the country? Now there are quite a number of challenges. How do you think these can be overcome, and what really is the role the World FAO is playing in helping countries overcome these challenges, especially Nigeria post COVID-19? We still have COVID-19, but at least what is the FAO doing to assist Nigeria, and how can we make sure that these challenges are overcome?
Okay, so let me start with the second question.
Okay.
FAO works across the globe to support countries technically, with sound technical advice and technical expertise. FAO is not a funding agency, but a technical agency of the United Nations with specialist skill to support government, to improve their programming, to support government, to improve the coordination of the programming on the ground, to ensure that interventions and public sector investment, or even private sector investment into agricultural systems, is technically sound, number one, and is making the desired impact on the ground. So in this regard, we bring together different stakeholders from government, from the resource partners, from the development partners in a coordinated manner to not only formulate policies, but also ensure sound implementation, very good monitoring, evaluation, and also accountability, but more importantly, learning the lessons and also improve future programming. So to go back to your second questions, there are many activities and efforts of different stakeholders. However, we need to do more in terms of coordination, in terms of improving the partnerships. You will see private sector works to deliver food security, government works to deliver food security, the civil society, the international community, we all work. However, in some cases you realize that there is a lot of, let me say, duplications, because we are not in many ways coordinated. So this aspect of coordination, although it's happening more or less at a strategic level, at the higher level, it needs to be scaled down to a more practical level in terms of actions on the ground and in the front line. What happened? Okay.
Thank you so much, Abubakar Sulaiman, Assistant Food and Agricultural Organization Representative here in Abuja. We are grateful for your time with us here this morning. Now, moving on, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has lifted more COVID-19 restrictions